Third-party data restrictions apply.
You're listening to the Morning Punchin' Show with RB and Jae, live and direct from more cities than an Instagram model's bio. Get ready for some boxing talk on the clock. Let's face it, you're not working and somebody's got to pay for the Wi-Fi.
Good morning, everybody. It is RB and Jae. This is the Morning Punchin' Show, the most unpredictable, honest, and authentic morning boxing talk show in the game. Today is Monday, August 29th, 2016. Our special guest today on the Hotline Bling will be the WBA champ, Jason Sosa, and Hall of Fame promoter, Russell Peltz. We're going to talk to them about what's coming up for Sosa. We were supposed to get a Sosa versus Gervonta Davis fight, so we're going to see where that stands and what the status of that fight is. We're going to get a lot of good stuff from them. Let me properly introduce my partner in crime, my PIC, the creator and founder of badculture.net, Jae. How you doing, Jae?
Jae is doing great. It's Monday morning. We're going to talk about some boxing. We're going to get into a sizzling hot question of the day. The hot question of the day, RB put it out there in a Twitter sphere last night. What do you think is the biggest problem in boxing right now? Once again, what is the biggest problem in boxing right now? We see your responses. Keep giving them to us during the show. Make sure you use the official show hashtag TMPS because we want to hear from you. RB,
Jae,
these people got lit when you put this question out there.
They really did. I was about to say, we got some good stuff. And, you know, once you get into reading some of these responses later, a lot of the fans are saying the same thing. They are not all over the place. So hang on tight. We're going to read some of your responses. We're going to shout you out on the show. But it looks like everybody is pretty united on what they feel is so wrong about boxing right now. Russell Peltz this morning said, I want to answer that hot question that you guys put up. So, you know, he's been in the game 46 years, and he's going to tell us what the biggest problem in boxing is right now in his eyes and his opinion. So that'll be cool. So, guys, the lines are open. Call 718-508-9852. Press 1 to speak your piece. Press 1 to play Know It or Blow It with us. We need 2 contestants today. The questions are not that hard. We are going to give you an extra 10 seconds on the clock, so we're going to give you 20 seconds to answer our trivia question, and you can win any free boxing shirt you want from the RagingBabe.com store.
Woohoo!
Right?
You gotta get your Raging Babe gear.
Yeah. So, Jay, look, boxing's been really, really slow. And me and you last night were like, what are we going to talk about today? I mean, like, really, there's not a lot of fights happening. There's not a lot of fights coming up. September does look to be a little more promising. But we're like, you know what? We're just going to get it cracking. We're just going to do what RB and J does.
That's right. That's right. We're going to talk about what we got. We lit.
Yeah.
I don't know about the sport, but we lit. So we're going to talk about something.
All right, before Sosa and Russell Peltz call in, I guess we can go ahead and punch in with the weekend fight recaps. There wasn't a lot of fights on this weekend. Saturday night on Unimas, Miguel Mariaga knocked out Guy Robb. I only saw the highlights of this, but apparently that was a little bit of an upset. I don't think that was supposed to happen.
No, it wasn't supposed to happen, but this must have been the weekend of spoilers and the weekend of people reaching the impossible dream. So that just kind of fell in line with what's going on right now. Maybe we need a splash of new blood out there, and that's what we got.
Well, I guess I'll have to check them out. I don't know much about Mariaga or Rob. But anyway, let's move right on to Saturday night on Spike TV from Anaheim, California, where Robert Guerrero lost to a cab driver. Literally, he lost to, like, an Uber driver.
Right.
And he got $500K to do it.
Ridiculous. I mean, with all due respect to Robert Guerrero, but come on. Are you kidding me? $500K for that? And Robert Guerrero, man, his money must be long because we know he gets his money, win or lose.
Well, yeah, we know he gets his money, and a lot of people were, why'd he get $500,000? Well, when you fight Floyd Mayweather, certain things happen. Not only does your lifestyle change, but your bank account changes. Not only does that change, but your contracts change. So when you sign to fight Floyd, you know, Guerrero now has minimums that he wants to make moving forward. And so every fight, he's guaranteed a minimum. I don't know for how much longer, but every fight after Floyd, he has made $500,000 or more. It didn't matter if he was fighting a cab driver or if he was fighting Danny Garcia.
Why do people get on him for that? I ain't mad either. Man, can somebody pay us a minimum every week for doing the show? I'm not mad at that at all.
So the guy who beat him, his name is David Peralta. And so he was a cab driver from Argentina. You know, si se puede. You know, he's like, I don't have to drive cabs no more. I did it. Guess who called him out right after the fight? No other than Paulie Malignaggi. Like, words? Like, come on, man. Like, look, I still foresee Robert Guerrero in another fight. Don't be surprised if we get Robert Guerrero versus Omar Figueroa.
Oh, God.
It's going to be something
and Paulie
like that.
Malignaggi versus David Peralta. Oh, boy, for the Brooklyn belt.
Another guy who took an L this weekend was Alfredo Angulo. El Perro lost to Freddie Hernandez. Jay, break it down.
Santo, 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 Espíritu Santo, Santo. It's time. It's time. I love Alfredo Angulo. I've talked to him a number of times over the years. He's the sweetest guy. He's had some really jacked up things happen to him in his life, and I've always rooted for him no matter who he fought just because of the man that he is. But it's time. It's a wrap. You know, I had some high hopes for him because I saw the cornrows came back, and that's when he used to be a killer, when he had the cornrows. So I had some high hope for the hair, but he ain't been right since that sister cut his hair out here before the Canelo fight. He's got a beautiful woman, a beautiful daughter, a daughter on the way. He just looks slow and plodding, and he was just there, and I don't want to see him get hurt. It's a wrap. It's time to go. Good night.
I agree.
It's time to go.
His watching him was sad, and there was people calling it a fun fight because we saw blood. You know, I'm like, that there was not fun about that fight. It was a really sad fight. I mean, he looked like Frankenstein in there. He could barely pick his feet up, could barely move his head, and his punch resistance is at like a 1. He can't take a punch.
People have some really strange ideas of what fun is. If that's fun right up there with like a root canal. Nothing about that was fun.
Oh, man. Well, you know, hopefully the people in his corner, whoever his management is, his trainers, his wife, I really hope that they advise him to walk away while he still has, you know, his brains left and some mobile skills. And, you know, it's just time to ride that wave. I think he made $100K. You know, invest it. Open yourself a little business or a taco stand or, you know, that probably sounded really, like, wrong right there. But, no, I'm serious. You know, he lives in California. I think he's from Mexicali.
That's some real spit. I mean, I wouldn't be offended if you told me I should hang it up and open a soul food restaurant. I mean, I'm not gay. That's what it is. Know your audience. Your audience is boxing people. Get you, like, a nice little, like, a boxing bar. Little boxing themed bar, like somewhere in LA or San Diego or whatever. Hook it up, put some photos in there, put the fights on when you have a pay-per-view, and man, it's time. You know, he's still a pretty young guy, and he's a well-liked guy. Angulo is a popular dude, whether you like his fighting now or not. A lot of people love Alfredo Angulo, and there's stuff he could do.
Yeah, well, that was it for the fight this weekend. I mean, that is, look, I feel embarrassed even talking about this, but that's it. Look, Guerrero lost to a cab driver. Angulo is shot. Mariaga pulled the upset and knocked out Guy Robb on Unimas. That's all we got for you. And Jay is going to give us the upcoming boxing schedule this weekend, and it's going to be sad. Like, we're going to play some funeral music, and, man, it's really, really bad. But you know what? Let's be honest, it is Labor Day weekend, so we didn't expect, you know, like huge fights. A lot of people are going to be traveling, vacationing. I'm going to be in Philly, then I'm heading down to the beach in Virginia. So, you know, it's not like we're really going to be around either, but dang, it's bad. It's really bad right now. Look, we want to play Know It or Blow It. If there's anybody in the queue on the switchboard right now that wants to play Know It or Blow It, press 1. Okay, the question is fairly easy. If you cannot answer this in 20 seconds, then you don't even deserve to be a boxing fan. Call in, 718-508-9852. We'll put 20 seconds on the clock. We're going to give you a trivia question. You could pick any shirt you want from the RagingBabe.com store. Jay, do we have anybody daring to play?
We actually got people daring to play today. They feeling brave. What? I like a brave. So we have 2 people in the queue ready to play. I see a queue full of area codes. I see some 812s and 718s and 916s and 919s and 470s and 213s and 504s. But, y'all rather just stalk than play. But we do have 2 brave souls that will play with us this morning.
Yeah, remember, guys, you have to press 1 so that we know you want to play. If you don't want to play, don't press 1. But if we see you press 1, we're picking you up on site.
Damn right. That's right. We're doing it. Show you right. All right, 812, I'm picking you up. 812-760, who is this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Jay, RB, this is Joey from Indiana. Man, y'all got me on this snow to blow it. I blew it last time, man. Oh, come on. I just called in to talk boxing. Y'all put me on the spot already. Oh, man. Okay.
All right, well, look, where do you want to start, Joey? Do you want to talk about the hot question of the day? What's the biggest problem in boxing? Or do you want to go right into the trivia game?
No. Let's talk a little boxing. Real quick. I'm disappointed. I live out here in Southern Indiana, so no movie theaters out here are showing Hands of Stone. So I gotta wait until nowhere. Like I live out here in Newburgh, by Evansville, close to Kentucky. And there's no theaters in sight. So I'm disappointed because I was ready to see that. But I am going to visit family in Chicago next weekend for Labor Day weekend, so I'm definitely going to catch it. I guess for me, for boxing, I was excited for Peralta. Like it always feels good when you get to see them Rocky moments live, in reality. So that was, to me, that was awesome to see. Man, but the real highlight of Saturday night, Jay, was Spike TV was getting your girl RB. Like, it was on RB on Twitter, man.
They were on me.
Hey.
Spike TV was coming at my neck. Did you see that?
Yeah. Hey, everybody was like, forget the fight. Let's watch what's going to happen at Raging Days. I was like, oh, man. Then you got Jade trying to delete you from block you or whatever she was doing. I'm like, what is going on here?
Look, me and Jay on a Saturday night, we're a mess. So we were texting each other. And I'm like, yo, let me see if I can get our followers. Jay's like, have them tweet something to Spike, calling it the fight of the year because they were looking to put something on TV. And, man, they caught on to my little game real quick, and they were on my top. It was funny. Oh, man, they didn't like that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Hey,
yeah, but
they need to give us a check. We had people tuning in. There's probably people who are watching on Twitter like, what's going on Spike? Look at what we did.
We had people so lit. That was fun.
Hey, Jay,
that was fun.
Jay and RB, let me ask you this. What do you think? Do you think the undercard? I'm real excited. I'm finally glad that we got the Ward and Kovalev announced. So, do you think the undercard will be solid, or it's going to be kind of just what we've been getting on undercards?
Yo, that's a good question, and nobody seems to know the answer. I have no idea. Jay, I don't know if you heard something. I have no idea who's going to be on that undercard. And when you look at Rock Nation's roster, when you look at Rock Nation, their roster, and you look at Main Event's roster, who are they going to put on there? I mean, it'd be cool if Luis Arias got a shot, right? The guy who left Mayweather, Luis Arias. It's about time he got some visibility maybe. But who's Main Event's got?
Right.
Hey,
they'll probably put on that kid, Daniel Twitch. Rock Nation's got that little white kid, that real cute kid that they've been developing. Maybe they'll throw him on a card, Daniel Twitch. Daniel Twitch, I think is his name. Little cute guy. And I don't know who Main Event's got. Maybe we on the card. I don't know.
Hey, RB and Jay, you think, and this is crazy me even asking this, but you think Cotto has too much pride to even be on the undercard, right? Like even if they were to put him if they put him against a tomato can, but at least just to have his name on there, he wouldn't do it, Joey. Right?
No, he's not going to do it, and his minimums are way too much money. He's a headliner. He's a Main Event. He's got a big ego, lots of pride. No way is he going to be on the undercard of Andre Ward. No way.
No.
However, you know who is going to be looking for a fight soon, and I think now they could actually make the fight, and we were going to talk about this, Lauren, in case you missed it. James Kirkland was arrested this past weekend for child support. So he's going to be looking for a fight. He's going to be looking for a check. I foresee Cotto versus James Kirkland in December.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Jay, I think you would have got a kick out of. I don't know if you heard. I just heard it this morning, but the Big Baby Miller and Deontay Wilder phone conversations. Y'all hear that yet?
I haven't heard that mess yet. What's going on? What's cracking?
It was on some satellite radio show. So when y'all get a chance, just go, wherever you find your sources at, just go ahead and take a listen to that conversation. It's definitely off the chain. I mean, Deontay called in. Big Baby was going off, and then Deontay called in on the show, and it was just crazy. But it was very, very entertaining. So definitely give it a shot. But Jay, okay, I'm tired of running around. I think I'm ready for this.
All right.
This question.
Well, look, before we play trivia with you, before we play boxing trivia with you, I'm looking at the calendar of September, and I'm going to read off some of the fights that are happening, and I want you to tell me which one of these fights are you most looking forward to. So let's start off. Let's see. We have Sergio Mora versus Danny Jacobs. We've got Kell Brook versus Golovkin. Chocolatito versus Carlos Cuadras. We've got Dusty Harrison versus Thomas Samana. Ishe Smith versus Frank Galarza, and Canelo versus Liam Smith. So out of those fights, which one are you most looking forward to?
Be fucking nice.
That's easy for me. That's going to be Brooke versus Triple G.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably
I
most
think it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be the most competitive. And then I've always been fascinated with two undefeated fighters going against each other. So that's kind of maybe. I mean, I like the Chocolatito card too. I wish I lived out there in in California, because I think that card's going to be fun to watch.
Well, I am taking myself to L.A. Me and Jay, we are going to be jaywalking out in L.A. There was no way that I was going to miss the Chocolatito fight. No way. So anyway, let's play Know It or Blow It, because our Hotline Bling guests are going to be calling in here any second. So here we go. We're going to give you 20 seconds on the clock.
Okay. Oh, man.
All right.
Got my heart.
You got it.
Okay.
All right.
Now, remember, Joey, you got 20 seconds. So you're going to hear the buzzer once, and then I'm going to restart the 10-second buzzer. And once you hear the second, that means time is up. So you got 2 10-second markers, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right,
RB.
Joey, if Y-E-S spells yes, what does E-Y-E-S spell?
Oh, my God. I'm about to blow this.
If Y-E-S spells yes, what does E-Y-E-S spell?
E-Y-E-S? Oh, man, I wanted that Puerto Rico shirt, too. I blew it, y'all. I don't know. Damn. I'm 0 for 2 on them things. No, hey, no more. Don't fake them for me no more, RB.
Okay, all right. Look, all right, we're gonna maybe let somebody else try to answer that one later. But thank you for being a good sport. We're always going to have contests and giveaway. We're going to be doing some giveaways this week on Twitter. So make sure that you're just always following me and Jay, and we're going to be giving out some of those Puerto Rican boxing legend shirts, because that one's flying off the shelves. So we're going to put you back in the queue. Have a good Monday, Joey. Thanks for listening.
All right. Hey, thank you, ladies. Y'all take care.
All right.
All right, take care.
Jay, let's go to a commercial, and then we'll come back with Hotline Bling.
Yes, let's do it.
If you want the best, BoxStats beats the rest. BoxStats is the best boxing app for all you boxing enthusiasts and professional boxers. Perform a quick search and get all the info you want and need. BoxStats, available on the Apple App Store. Download it for free today. BoxStats, know your opponent.
All right, we are back. We're going to jump right into the Hotline Bling. We have Russell Peltz in the queue, Hall of Fame promoter of WBA champ Jason Sosa. Jay, let's bring him on in.
And we're joined by Russell Peltz. What's going on, Russell Peltz?
I'm busy. I'm here. Looking forward to it.
All right, great. We're actually waiting for Jason Sosa to call in, so we'll talk to you first. Big win over there in China for the kid. Came back with the strap. Beat Javier Fortuna. seems like a lot of things are going well for Jason. He was given the key to the city in Camden. I see him making all these appearances all over the place. So how has his life changed, if any, since winning the WBA championship?
Well, any change has to be for the better. He's still the same happy-go-lucky kid he was, and my fears about him fattening up on the banquet circuit are unfounded. He's been in the gym loosening up and working out and staying in shape. He's proud of himself. He's proud of what he's done for himself and for his city. And, Jason Sosa is a good guy. He's one of those fighters that you can't say anything negative or derogatory about. And he also is not the kind of person who says negative things either about his opponent or anybody else in the business.
Yeah, he always seems to be super respectful, super professional. So he beat Fortuna, and then, talks of this Gervonta Davis fight started swirling around social media, and there was articles written, and apparently the WBA granted him an exception to make this defense, and they actually approved Gervonta Davis. Is that correct?
Yeah, they gave him an exception to have a voluntary defense, and Davis was rated, and they approved that fight. So we're just waiting on Davis to come to the table. I guess that's the best way I can say it.
So at one point it looked like it was a done deal. I mean, there was dates being thrown out there and articles being written, and all of a sudden the brakes were pumped. So where are we today with it?
Well, the first thing, Michelle, I've always learned that it's not a done deal till the bell rings. I don't know what's going on with Gervonta Davis. I do know, as I told you last week, that the old rule of thumb in boxing is you never, never, ever turn down a title fight. When we went to Beijing, we went there for no money, but it wasn't even a question with Sosa. It was a shot at winning the title, and I know that nobody, very few people, gave him a chance to beat Fortuna, but he gambled in a very small purse, and he won the title, and now he's in a good spot. So I would say the same thing to Gervonta Davis. If it's about money, if it's about where you want to live or you train, you sit down and you work it out. I mean, intelligent, fair-minded people should be able to work anything out. You just don't walk away from a shot at the title. But, hey, that's on him. If it's not Gervonta Davis, it'll be somebody else.
All right, talking about somebody else, and we were going to talk to Jason about this. The division he's in is pretty stacked. So if it's not Gervonta Davis, what are some other options out there in his division that would look good? I mean, Lomachenko's out there, Vargas is out there. You got some good fighters in that division.
There have been feelers from Vargas and Lomachenko, and I don't have a problem with either of them. They're both great fights. Vargas, style-wise, is probably the best fight, but he's probably on the shelf till January or February. I would fight Lomachenko because you're talking about the biggest purse that he could get at this point in his career, but management doesn't agree, and so right now, this minute, as we talk, there's no fight with Lomachenko. Could that change tomorrow? I don't know. People in boxing have to understand, even my people, that the money is not what it was a year ago. Not just because Al Heyman has been cutting back. HBO is cutting back. Everybody's cutting back because everybody's losing money. So guys that you used to see fighting 8-rounders underneath on a PBC show for $20,000, bringing across the border, wherever they came from, Puerto Rico, Arizona, Texas, the guys that were getting overpaid, it's not happening anymore. Fighters who might have been making $400,000 a year ago might only be making $200,000 now. That's just the face of the business, and the fighters have to accept that.
Yeah. Well, I know that you like keeping your guys active. I know that you rather them fight, 3-4 times a year than just fight once a year for the same amount of money. I think keeping them active is very important, keeping them fresh, and I think that's why Jason Sosa has been able to do so well. He has stayed active. You always matched him, pretty tough, and he's hung in there with some of the best fighters in the world. So kudos to your matchmaking and everything you're doing with him. Now, back to Gervonta Davis real quick. So there was some things out there that, he wants to live in Baltimore. He likes to stay home. He wants to live home and train. And I guess Floyd isn't too happy about that. He wants him to move to Vegas, live in a nice house, drive a nice car. And I think the kid just wants to stay home. So I think the issues with this fight is him and the promoter, I think, need to get on the same page. Does that sound about accurate? I mean, I don't think it's the kid not wanting the fight.
Floyd has to talk to him about the advantages of living in Vegas, and Davis has to talk to Floyd about the advantages of staying in, what is it, Washington, D.C. or Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Have to just sit down 50-50 and talk it over. It can't be like Floyd's the boss and you're going to do what I tell you, and it can't be like Davis is saying, if I don't want to come to Vegas, I'm not fighting. They got to sit down like men and discuss it, and they have to come to an agreement, because you don't walk away from these kind of fights. You just don't. I'm sure that Davis doesn't think that Sosa's in the same league with Lomachenko. He probably feels Jason is a beatable champion, as a lot of people do, as a lot of people did feel he was beatable before he fought Walters or Fortuna. You don't walk away. You work it out. That's all. It's up to them.
Yeah, I agree. So, Russell, we have this hot question of the day. I think this is a really good time to talk about this. The question is, what do you think is the biggest problem in boxing right now? Could you answer that for us? What do you think is the biggest problem in boxing right now?
Lousy fights. It has overtaken my number one, which was always the incredible amount of alleged world champions, but that's now taking a backseat to bad fights, bad matches, bad matchmaking, terrible club shows. I mean, what today's writers call club shows, anything that's not on HBO or Showtime or NBC seems to be a club show to most of today's writers, but everything, there's just not enough competitive fights. You know what? And you know that I do not like women's boxing. But the Heather Hardy, what was it, Shelley Vincent?
Shelley Vincent.
Now, if you had more fights like that, okay, but with men, I mean, everybody raves about Errol Spence. Okay, good fighter. But how can you compare the Errol Spence fight that day, which was a one-sided blowout, with 6 million eyeballs, 6 million people watching that, compared to the Heather Hardy fight? Now, if Heather Hardy and Shelley Vincent were men, I guarantee they wouldn't have fought. They'd have said, "Oh, let's wait, let's fight next year." That's the problem. You've got to make good fights at all levels. You can't be charging $50 and $100 for people to come to shows just to see your fighter get a W so he can boost his record and eventually get on Showtime or HBO. That's why I love the LaManna Dusty Harrison fight we have in 2 weeks, because it's two guys at the same level fighting each other, not saying let's wait till we fight on HBO. That's the major problem with boxing. You turn on these fights and they're not competitive, and on top of that, they're in the wrong venues. They're not in the hometowns of one of the fighters. That's up there as one of my big reasons, because you can't build attractions in casinos in the middle of, Keokuk, Iowa, when the fighters are from the Northeast and our West. You can't do it.
I mentioned last week that I felt the Hardy-Vincent fight was more entertaining than the Spence-Bundu fight. And anybody who disagreed with me, they were frauding. I mean, the girls' fight was much, much better than the Spence fight.
And if the girls hadn't fought, you wouldn't have had the size of the crowd that was there. Heather Hardy brought those people. Errol Spence did not bring those people to Coney Island.
Yeah, that's correct.
I mean, it was just great atmosphere. And I hated to see it because I don't like women's boxing. I don't like to see women getting hit. But, hey.
Oh, okay. So I was just going to ask you, why don't you like women's boxing? You don't like seeing women get hit.
when I was at ESPN in the from '98 to 2004, I tried to discourage it. We would go to places, I don't know, let's just say Mississippi, and there'd be a women's fight, and I'd try and keep it off TV because most of them weren't evenly matched. But I look in the corner, and I see either the woman's husband, her brother, or husband or brother, and I'm thinking, what are these guys thinking? So here's their wife or their girlfriend or their sister getting punched in the face. I mean, how can you do that? I just the way I was raised, Michelle, just the way I was raised.
No,
If my father were alive and he saw me promoting a woman's match, he'd roll his eyes. He'd say, "Is this how I raised you?" That's just me. If that makes me a male show, listen, I love women's basketball. I love women's track. I like it all. I don't like to see women getting hit. I'm sorry. I don't like it.
Well, so what about Clarissa Shields? She just went over there to Rio and won another gold medal. You know, where do you think she goes? Do you think she can be the face of women's boxing, or are we so far away from that?
Well, I don't know what being the face of women's boxing means. I don't know. I mean, the women who play in the WNBA don't make any money. I mean, I think I read recently where their salaries are like $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 a year, and these are the best of the female basketball players. I don't know that there's enough competitive women out there. I don't know. I really don't know. Listen,
okay.
For however you want to categorize me, Heather Hardy, in my opinion, is a good-looking woman. She's got a great smile. She's pretty. I never thought that she could compete with Shelley Vincent, and she did. She won the fight, close fight, but she was the winner. I don't know. I just don't know about women's boxing. You know, you had Christy Martin, who was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Lucia Riker, who may have been, her and Ann Wolfe may have been the best of their time. Who was the one that was in Playboy? Couldn't fight much, but she was
Mia St. John.
Mia St. John.
Yeah, Mia St. John. So, you know, that to me was the heyday of women's boxing. Whether or not you know, that Clarissa Shields or Heather Hardy can hearken it back to those days, I don't know. I don't know. I think men's boxing is having enough problems. I don't know. Maybe that would be, you know, an answer. If I don't know. I hate to think about it.
No, it's okay. I mean, I asked this because we see in the UFC how the women are really marketable there, and they sell a lot of tickets, and they're making a lot of money, and you know, so we're like, hey, why can't that happen in boxing? Why can't that be, you know, for women in boxing? But let's switch back to men's boxing real quick. I'm looking at the calendar of September, and there's 3 big fights in September, and I'm going to give you all 3. And then I want you to tell me which one is the most competitive and which one are you most looking forward to. So let's start with September 9th. We have the rematch between Danny Jacobs and Sergio Mora. We have September 10th, Kell Brook versus Gennady Golovkin. And then we've got September 17th, Canelo versus Liam Smith.
Actually, the one I'm looking forward to the most is Golovkin and Kell Brook because of the incredible atmosphere there's going to be over there. I mean, what did they do? I don't know how big the place is, 20, 30,000. They sold it out in 11 minutes. I mean, the British are wonderful fight fans. Probably the number one place right now for boxing fans. I know a lot of Mexicans will turn out to see Canelo, but come on, I know a lot of them are not too happy with him for not fighting Triple G, but just for the atmosphere. I mean, if I could go to one of those 3 fights, I'd fly to London and see that fight in a heartbeat. And if I didn't 100%. Have a fight the next week in Philly, I thought about it. It's just, I've been to fights over there. I was there the night one of the kids got hurt. I don't know. It was that super middleweight, Nigel Benn, and maybe it wasn't McCallum, but it's just incredible. It's like going to a soccer game overseas. The singing and the chanting, and it's going to be, and hopefully it'll be a better fight than most people think it's going to be. But I give credit to Golovkin because that's what world champs do. They fight all over the world. They defend their title all over the world. And all the all-time greats, or many of the all-time greats, did that. They defended their titles overseas, and I give him a lot of props for doing that. I don't care if he's bigger than the guy. I mean, there's some of these comments ragging on Golovkin because he picked on Kell Brook. You know what? I understand now why people tell me not to respond to the comments because they're so inane. The guy will fight anybody. He can't force people to fight him. Kell Brook might turn out to be a good fight, but the atmosphere. It's the atmosphere. You're going to have no atmosphere in Reading for Mora and Jacob.
God.
Neither of them are from Reading.
It's so embarrassing. I can't even believe that rematch was made.
Yeah, what's the point? Who's Danny Garcia fighting?
Andre Berto. We're going to talk about that today during our Word on the Curb segment, but he's going to be fighting Andre Berto in October in L.A.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point?
Because that's where it belongs.
You know, so yeah, I like Golovkin and Kell Brook. I don't think forget about Mora and Jacobs. That's not even in the conversation. The conversation would be if 50,000 Mexicans turn out to see Canelo and Liam Smith, but it still wouldn't match Golovkin and Kell Brook.
Yeah, you know, I'll be out there in Dallas with Gabe Rosado. He's fighting Willie Monroe. I had no intentions of going to Dallas for the Canelo-Liam Smith fight, but now I'm actually getting excited because I think they are going to pack that place. I think that a lot of diehard boxing fans are very angry with Canelo, but the mainstream fans and the Mexicans in Texas, I still think they're going to put like 60,000 people in the stadium. So it's going to be a really cool, I think, environment to be in. So I'm actually looking forward to that.
Listen, I think Gabe Rosado against Willie Monroe is almost a reason for me to buy the fight, and I don't buy pay-per-view fights because I always get disappointed. That's the better fight.
Yeah, always Gabe. So, Russell, listen, thank you for joining us today and for making us a part of your day. We're still waiting for Jason Sosa to call in, so we're going to let you go. And if you can give your fighter a little jingle and say, hey, RB and Jae is waiting for you, we'd appreciate that. We definitely do want to talk to him. We want to get his side. And we'd like to see what's new in his life. I know he's got a baby on the way, and now he's like the little mayor of Camden. So, anyway, thank you for joining us, Russell. Always appreciate it.
And don't get me in trouble with all the women boxers.
I won't. Hey, you had good points.
Okay, very good. Take care. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's take a quick commercial, and we'll be back with more Morning Punch In Show with RB and Jae.
The Caribe Hilton Hotel in San Juan, Puerto Rico will host the 29th WBO convention October 17th through October 21st. The World Boxing Organization is a sanctioning organization currently recognizing professional boxing world champions such as Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, Gilberto El Zurdo Ramirez, Terrence Bud Crawford, Jesse La Nueva Generación Vargas, Roman Rocky Martinez. Registration forms and advertising opportunities are on our website at WBOboxing.com. The WBO also has a mission that extends beyond the ring, so help join the WBO on this fight. And for more information on the WBO Convention in Puerto Rico and the Kids Drug Free program, visit WBOboxing.com.
All right. Shout out again to Russell Peltz.
My back is broken. What's final?
I couldn't help it.
You are on fire today with the sound effects. Anyway, Russell's always such a good guest to have on the show. He's a legend in the game, and he gives it like it is. And what's good about him is, you know, he just doesn't give an opinion and walk away from it. You know, he has his points, he has his feelings, and, you know, you got to respect that. So hopefully we'll get Jason Sosa to call in. Guys, we did try to get Gervonta Davis on the show. We tried to get him on twice. He was advised not to speak at the moment. He's got some things, I guess, that he needs to resolve with his promotional people and Floyd. And Floyd, stop doing that kid dirty. If he wants to live in Baltimore and train in Baltimore, let that boy live. Let him do what he's got to do. Not everybody wants to live that life in Vegas. And let him fight. Right. You know, like Russell said, as a fighter, you never, ever, ever turn down a title shot. So let the boy live. Let him get his shot. So anyway, just wanted to let you know we weren't being biased. We like to call it down the middle, and we did really try to get Gervonta Davis on the show. He's always welcomed on the show. We have an open mic for him here. So Gervonta, if you're listening,
he agreed.
When you're ready.
He was ready. He was lit. He was lit and ready.
Yeah.
If you were following RB on Twitter, he was lit, but he was advised. So don't go jumping up in Gervonta's DMs like he a sucker or nothing. You know, leave that boy alone. He was ready to speak his piece.
Sure was. Hot topics. So last week it was reported that Earl Spence did over-the-moon numbers, and their rating was 6 million viewers on NBC. Wow. So he had the lead-in, you know, from the Olympics coming in. It was great visibility for him. You know, hopefully more of those people that saw him that day will continue to tune in to see him. 6 million hopefully is a big number.
That's a huge number of people, more than any pay-per-view that's been on recently. And I don't know what the current record is for network TV for fights. I know that a number of fights have been doing well on the PBC platform, regular network TV, but 6 million people on a Sunday afternoon, maybe we'll start getting more Sunday boxing when people are home eating dinner. So that was great.
Right. So the other hot topic this week is Andre Ward versus Kovalev is officially official, Jay. We are really getting this fight. It is really going down on November 19th. It is going down in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. Tickets go on sale this Friday at AXS.com or at the T-Mobile Arena box office. Were you hyped when we got the press release or what?
I mean, I'm hyped for us
today, Jay.
I'm hyped for us. You know, we'll be out there. We'll be out there doing it big. And hopefully this fight performs well because that's a hell of a matchup.
Let me tell you about this weekend. Not only is it the most anticipated fight of the year, but yes, RB and Jae, we're going to be out there. We are going to be on Radio Row, which is going to be just bananas, okay? We're going to be on Radio Row talking to everybody and anybody that you can think of coming to you live from Las Vegas. I have had so many people hit me up, Jay, wanting to know where we're staying, what we're doing. I mean, there are so many people coming to this fight. So for the people that think people don't travel for Kovalev and Ward, well, maybe when they're not fighting each other, but this is the best fight of the year. This is the most anticipated fight. Vegas is going to be off the hook. We're making credentials for our dorm room because everybody loves to pop up on us.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to be out there, Jay. Crazy.
So make sure you do your credential requests. These will not be going through Magna Media. Make sure you send them to RB and Jae. If you would like your official credential to rock with RB and Jae during the Kovalev versus Ward or Ward versus Kovalev fight weekend. What is it? Is it Ward Kovalev or Kovalev Ward?
I don't know. I think it's Kovalev Ward.
I got to look back at the press release. But, yeah, at any rate, if you want to rock with us, you need a credential. And so, you know, get your applications in. We have some special stuff planned for that weekend. We're going to be out because we are a show for the people, by the people. So stay tuned.
We're going to have some really cool promotional giveaways from the Morning Punch-In show and the Ruckus. We're going to have all types of good guests on the show. And we're going to have the Raging Babe brunch the morning of Kovalev Ward. So that's in the beginning stages as well. We're so hyped. Our girl Bam, she's going to be out there. You know it's always
Bam.
Bam.
That's my girl.
Obviously we're excited. Hopefully I want both fighters to stay healthy all throughout camp. It would be devastating if something went wrong with this fight. But anyway, in case you missed it, Jay, there are some things that went down last week that if you weren't up to speed on, you know, boxing news and Twitter and media and articles, we're going to catch you up right now. Brandon Rios' manager indicated that Brandon Rios' top-ranked contract ends in December. Where does Brandon Rios go from here? Who knows? I mean, what really is there for him? I will tell you that Al Heyman has kind of pumped the brakes on signing fighters. So if the big plan is, I'm going to sign with Al Heyman, I don't know if that's going to happen. So where does Brandon Rios go after top rank?
Brandon Rios had a plan to retire. I think he should stick with that plan and maybe, you know, reconcile it with Robert Garcia. I don't know that they fell out or anything, but re-partner up with his longtime guy, Robert Garcia, and help run the gym. You know, do something. Stay within boxing because a lot of people got a lot of love for Brandon Rios, but he's another one. I worry about his safety when he fights him, Juan Ma, and Gulo.
Yeah.
It's a lot of those guys. When they get in the ring, it's like, please.
Yeah, there are some fighters, their egos won't let them start over because they were at a really high point in their career making millions of dollars. A guy like Brandon Rios is not going to be okay with Top Rank saying, well, look, we got to put you on Unimas, you know, because HBO doesn't want you on there anymore. We're not going to pay you $2, $3, $4 million anymore. So if you really want to fight, we're going to have to stick you on Unimas for $30,000. Well, Mike Alvarado's okay with that. Juan Baby Bull Diaz is okay with that. But Brandon Rios is not going to be okay with that. That dude made like $4 million to fight Manny Pacquiao a couple years ago.
Right. Blew through all that money. He'll tell you himself. He blew through all that money.
Dag, for real?
Yeah. He said that in a number of interviews. You know, he made all that money off of the Pacquiao fight. I think I have an interview with him on badculture.net. And after that fight and after he blew through that money, people started falling off from him and being shady. And he said he got to see who really was down for him and who wasn't. And maybe that's why he keeps fighting. But, yeah, he blew through that money like, whoa.
Yo. All right. Unfortunate news. Jose Benavidez Jr. was shot in Phoenix, Arizona last week, taken to the hospital. He is living. He is doing well. But, guys, this whole situation is not good. This is the third warning with him being in some mess out here in Phoenix, and it's actually kind of scary. So months ago, there was a house that was shot up, and then you heard on the ruckus when his father told us that somebody set the kid's car on fire. He has like an $80,000, $90,000 car, and it was set on fire. That's not random. Then he goes out to walk his dog last week at his girlfriend's house, and he gets shot in the hand and in the leg. Now, if they wanted to kill him, they would have killed him, but obviously they wanted to stop his career. They shot him in the leg and in the hand. As a boxer, you need your hands and you need your legs, right? So this is scary stuff, you know. I heard that they put a plate in his leg. He had to have some surgery. They don't know if it's career-ending or not. The finger's going to be fine. But this is just too bad. It's unfortunate. I don't know who got mixed up with who, but he needs to get out of Dodge.
Yeah, no. He needs to keep a low profile. Phoenix might not be the best place to live. I suggest maybe, you know, like Maine or West Virginia. But people are going to do what they got to do. So prayers to him and on a speedy recovery. I adore his mother to death. So, you know, prayers and power to him. Just stay safe out there, kids. Stay safe.
I know, right? So James Kirkland, I mentioned earlier, he was arrested last week over some child support issues. So that means it is time to fight. We know that James Kirkland fights when he needs a check. He got locked up. He owes a bunch of child support. This is the best time for Rock Nation to call his advisor, to call Ann Wolf, to call James Kirkland in jail and say, I'm sending you the contract, sign on the dotted line. You need this check. Right? We know James fights when he needs a check.
Yes, he does.
He fights when he needs a check.
Does. He fights when he needs a check. He fights when there's a parade on the street. He fights just because it's Tuesday. But we need him actually fighting in the ring. I don't know. He gotta have a head scan too. Didn't he have some brain issues or something? I don't know. But anyway, you're right. You're right.
So Amir Khan, moving on to some more foolery. Amir Khan plans to fight in January, May, and December. Is he not a shot caller or what, Jay? He's saying he's fighting January, May, and December.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God! Stop your fucking lying.
We'll see about that.
Oh my God, I could barely breathe. Jay, you're off the chain today. So I'll tell you one thing that Amir Khan is doing well. He is over there in Pakistan right now, and he's feeding the homeless, and he's opening up academies, and he's doing a lot of nonprofit work, and I love that about him. Yeah, as much as we joke about Amir Khan and we call him delusional, man, he's over there in Pakistan doing his thing, and that is commendable, that is admirable. It's remarkable. You know what I mean? So shout out to him on that front.
Yeah, I rock with that. Amir Khan says a lot of stuff, but he does a lot of outreach and a lot of community service, giving back. So you gotta love the guy for that.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're gonna get to the hot question, but we do want to play Know It or Blow It again. So if you want to play, you have to press 1-718-508-9852. Press 1 so that we know you want to play Know It or Blow It. I'll try to give another easy question, and we will give you 20 seconds on the clock so you can win some free gear from the RageandBabe.com store. Jay, anybody willing to play?
No, we don't want to embarrass Joey like that. Joey rocking with us. Oh, wait, we do have somebody else in the queue for some Know It or Blow It. Well, they're in the queue and they press 1. We'll see if they want to know it or blow it. Let's pick them up. 805, you are on with the Morning Punch-In Show with RB and Jae. Who am I speaking to and where are you calling from?
Yova from California.
Hey,
what's happening? What's your name?
Yova.
Oh, what's happening?
Jova.
What's going on?
Yes?
We got you. We got you. He's ready.
All right. We're gonna give you 20 seconds on the clock. Now, were you listening to the whole show, or did you just call in?
I just called in.
Okay, great. We're gonna give you 20 seconds on the clock. Here we go. We want you to name us 5 current world champions. Can you name us 5 current world champions?
Yeah.
Go.
Lee Selby, Triple G, Kovalev, Tyson Fury, and Kelbrook.
All right.
He's got it. You did it.
We finally got a winner. Yes.
Hey, you won.
Yeah.
So you get to pick any shirt you want from the RageandBabe.com store. I actually want to play one more with you again because our caller earlier wasn't able to get the question right. So I'm going to give you another 20 seconds to give you a shot to win 2 shirts from the RageandBabe.com store.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Jay, we're going to give him 20 seconds. Here we go. If YES spells yes, what does EYES spell?
Eyes.
Oh, you must have been listening earlier. You got it. All right. Do I follow you on Twitter because I need to get your contact information?
I'm Yova R. 805. So find me.
JOVA.
JOVA _R 805.
R805. Oh, yeah, okay, I do see you. And I do follow you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hova. This is my boy Hova. Yo, why didn't you tell me? Come on, man. I know you real well. We hang out.
Yeah.
Oh, what fight am I going to see you at next?
Shit, I don't know yet.
Are you going to Canelo Smith?
Nah, hell no. I'm going to Chocolatito.
I'm going to be in L.A. Yes, I'm going to be in L.A. for that. I'm coming. Yeah, so is there like a tailgate or something that I'm going to be invited to or not?
I don't know for sure. I'll let you know. I'll hit you up for sure.
Yeah, hit me up. Let me know. And thank you for that DM you sent me the other day was so funny with the Puerto Rican national anthem.
Yeah.
That was so funny. But all right, I'm going to see you in L.A. Do me a favor when you get off the line, DM me your size and the shirts that you want and your ship to address, and I'll get those out to you.
For sure. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Man. I'll see you in a few weeks.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, we didn't have a lot to talk about today, but we did have a lot to talk about. Jay, let's get into the hot question. We got like 8 minutes left on the show, and I still got to dish the word on the curb.
That's how I feel about these hot question responses. All right, let's get into it. Remember, the hot question of the day was, what do you think is the biggest problem in boxing right now? Our guy, AA, Adam Abramowitz, SN Boxing says, the best not fighting the best. Axel Sand, who is at AXX number 40, says, pay-per-views, not worth paying for. We also got a response from an egg. Coco JP 1220 says fighters putting money over legacy and boxing politics. Ooh, yes. Another response. You guys, Abby, for I can't with you guys. At OBNYK says horrible undercard. Of course, Frank Angiano says Al Heyman. Let's see what else we got. Elite Boxing says fighters. Oh, you know we're gonna get the Heymans. Elite Boxing says fighters wanting rematches and arguing the scorecards when they clearly lose. Shut up and rebuild till you earn one more shot.
Damn.
All right, Elite Boxing, let them know. Shut up. Johnny Finch Esquire says, oh, we might need a lawyer. The Heyman-Arum feud remains the biggest problem in boxing. Domo, Obama self, Domo, and my guy Domo, I can't see your whole name in the thing.
Domo fan
Guys
sauce.
fight more. There you go. Guys fight more on social media than in the ring. Once they lose the Twitter battle, they say, call my manager. I'm going to start tweeting
100% Domo fan sauce. I agree 100%.
And a follow-up. Guys wanting superstar money with no superstar resumes. Amen to that.
Amen to
that.
Pass the offering plate.
Hallelujah. You want to take a few of these, RB?
Yeah, okay, let's see. Exposed Boxing says promoters cherry-picking opponents for their fighters. We got another person that said Al Heyman is the problem. R-Cube-DR33C says fighters not fighting enough and pricing themselves out. Let's see. Dara Cobb said the biggest problem is fighters can pick and choose who they want to fight and when. Let's see. The next one. Nah and Profit says the inability of sanctioning bodies to make big fights happen. There really isn't a sanctioning body. There's 4 sanctioning bodies, but I feel like boxing needs one unified, right? Like sanctioning body ranking system. Yeah, it's been RB and Jae. Let's see. You Super Deluxe says way too many belts. Look under your chair. You get a belt if you get a belt.
You get a belt, right. And you get a belt, and you get a belt.
D Smooth 210, too much network beef. People not daring to be great. Too many pay-per-views for fights not worth it, a.k.a. Canelo Smith. Woo!
Ooh, pang, pang, pang.
Go ahead, Jay. Back to you.
News. Our guy News from McCauley and from Twitter says the promotional companies not working together on a consistent enough basis to bring us the biggest and best fights. Hallelujah. Jonathan J. Kid 154 says not enough coverage by mainstream media. A huge market on Sundays with NFL running upcoming fight promo would be key. Yeah, they got to come up with some dollar bills, y'all. JS_writing says factionalism preventing the fights that fans want. Also, the unprofessionalism and immaturity of much of the boxing media. Woo! Holler, and holler
Word.
On that one. You talking some stuff there. At the TKO Network says promoters and networks. And let's see, we got a lot. Simon Boxing Head, I think he's one of our Brit listeners, says fighters getting paid too much for bullshit fights and therefore want unrealistic money for fighting tough opponents. Yeah, okay. And Papa Garrett says no unity, no cohesion. Need one league, one belt, and an accurate ranking system. Say it with your chest. Bill Green 1104 says we need to improve the pay-per-view industry. It is slowly dying. Keep in mind, Chavez Sr. used to fight on Tyson's undercards. Very good point. And lastly, Carlos Carlos says a lot of fighters not wanting to take risks and making excuses not to fight someone who poses a threat. Muchas gracias para los responses de pregunta de la día.
Okay, Jay, I'm going to mute your mic. You're done.
Oh. Muchas gracias.
Oh. Well, look, that was a really good, hot question, Jay. Kudos to you for coming up with it. Like I said, everybody seemed to be in the same realm with their answer. It's not like we got a lot of off-the-wall stuff. Everybody wants promoters to work together. They want less pay-per-views. They want more cohesion in our sport, and they want the best fighting the best. So until that happens, we're going to keep bitching and complaining. So we have literally like 2 more minutes. I'm going to give you the word on the curb.
Word on the curb. So, Jay, I see a lot of people this morning tweeting about this Charlo J-Rock fight. So apparently at like 1 o'clock in the morning, Jamal Charlo tweeted that this fight is worth millions. Now, come on. Yes, it's a good fight for boxing. It is. It's not a great fight, And who is the draw? And where are they going to draw? Like, stop it. Stop. Like, let's be realistic. You know, the sense of, you know, this false entitlement is kind of crazy. But anyway, we talked about this last week, and I mentioned that there was a lot of logistical issues where there was a promoter like Sabella who feels like it belongs in Brooklyn. Tom Goose and Brown feels like it belongs in L.A. Then you got Mayweather Promotions. They think it belongs in Vegas. I don't even know why all these promoters are pulling for this fight or fighting for this fight so much. Like, put all of them in a hat and pick one out, and that's where they're going to fight. This is where being signed with Al Heyman can sometimes not be a benefit because there is a conflict of interest there. So he's probably telling Charlo one thing, telling J-Rock another thing, instead of saying, you know what, guys, you guys were supposed to fight 90 days after the Trout fight, per the IBF rules. Here's your date. This is where you're going to fight. Show up. Enough already. Charlo now wants it in Houston. Well, J-Rock volunteered 7 months ago to take a pay cut and to fight in Houston. That didn't happen. He had to fight his way through the IBF rankings. So now he's like, well, why do I got to go to Texas now? He made me fight all these eliminators to fight him. Why do I got to go to Texas now? You know, what, is he going to wear smaller gloves too? Is he going to wear 8-ounce gloves and I got to wear 10s? So, you know, going to Texas can kind of be a little scary for any fighter anyway.
Right.
But, you know, Charlo had no problems going to Brooklyn when he was meeting with Jay-Z and Rock Nation.
That's right.
So why you got a problem going to Brooklyn to fight? See, that's a little word on the curb I just snuck in there.
Ooh.
Okay, you was out there meeting with Rock Nation a year or two ago. You were all over Brooklyn.
That's right.
Why can't you fight in Brooklyn now? So the fight just needs to get made. Tony Harrison is on deck. We told you this last week. We see people talking about it this week. That's kind of cute. So Tony Harrison is on deck. He is willing to step up and fight J-Rock if the Charlo fight doesn't happen. You can say what you want about Tony Harrison, but he wants to fight, and he wants to fight good guys, win, lose, or draw. So I give him props.
Shout out to him. So many guys are maneuvering around fights that it shouldn't be a unicorn when a guy actually wants a fight.
Yeah, and you know, Charlo has made so much money fighting these showcase fights. So, yeah, fighting a real fighter like Julian, he probably does want to get paid $1 million, $1.2 million. He's probably going to end up getting around $750, $800 for it. Julian will probably make $350, $400 for it. But yes, this kid actually feels like this fight is worth millions of dollars, and he feels like it should be a headliner. It should be a main event. It should be its own card. I'm thinking, stick it on an undercard somewhere.
Right.
That's where I think it belongs.
Absolutely. It's a great fight, but like you said, I mean, I don't know that people are in the streets clamoring for this fight.
Yeah, and you know what? They were saying last year, we need to marinate this fight. Right. It's got to grow. What you marinating?
Right.
What has to grow? Their fan bases are still the same. They have only each fought once or twice, and I'm not knocking either one of them for real. I'm just stating some facts for real. So it's not like all of a sudden one of them has blown up like, that dude right now. Put them on an undercard. Let it be a good feature. Let it be a good fight. The undercard that I feel like it belongs to, here's our second part of Word on the Curb today, is Danny Garcia versus Andre Berto.
Yep.
We've been talking about this fight for months. Then it looked like it wasn't going to happen because of some money issues, but this fight is a done deal, per my sources, and it is set to happen October 15th in L.A. They feel like Danny has a fan base in L.A. They feel like Andre Berto has a fan base in L.A. I don't know, Jay, does Andre Berto have a fan base in L.A.? I guess. I don't know.
Berto, I mean, he trains here. He lives here. People like him. I wouldn't say that there's like a huge fan base, but he probably has more fans here than anywhere else. So I could see that. I could see the Bay coming down. It's not that far a drive. I don't know.
Well, here, okay, so I'm going to break down some economics. So if Danny's going to get 0.4, and Andre Berto, his minimum is probably $1 million by now. Then I'm like, well, stick Charlo and J-Rock on that card. Put them as the co-feature. You know what I mean? Like, stick them there. Well, can't do that because Mikey Garcia is going to be fighting Zlatan on that card, on the undercard, and Mikey's going to make like $850,000.
Yep.
So they have ate up all the money, and there is no room for Charlo J. Rock. So now what? Now they got to wait till November, December? I mean, the jig is up, yo. Move on. Like,
Right.
I don't even know if anybody cares anymore.
Hell, Berto might get more than Garcia. Berto is among Heyman's longest clients. And Berto gets paid when he fights. He might get more than Danny.
No, he's going to get around $1 million. Danny, the holdup was Danny wanted more of the money. And the fight got made that way, and he's going to be making about 1.4.
Whew.
Yep.
Fat dough.
Mm-hmm. So that is the word on the curve, Jay. That's all I got. It might not be juicy, but it's some real stuff going on there.
It's got some teeth, and I like the little sneak tip word on the curve. So if you were listening and you caught the sneak tip that she slipped in, then kudos to you. If you didn't catch it, go back and listen again and tell a friend. Before we wrap it up today, let me give the weekend fight schedule. On Saturday, September 3rd on NBC Sports, Gervonta Starks is going to fight Darwin Price. And that's your weekend fight schedule.
I'm going to cry.
I know. The weekend fight schedule is going to be me battling my hair. That's the weekend fight schedule.
Well, I'm going to be battling my hair, too. I'm going to be on the East Coast battling humidity, looking like a nut. And you know what? Everybody enjoy the Labor Day weekend. I know a lot of people are going to be traveling. Be safe and all that good stuff. I had fun today, Jay. I was questioning this show last night, like, yo, what are we going to talk about? And we actually went over an hour, and we had a lot of fun, and we had some good callers, and we got a good winner on Know It or Blow It. Shout out to Hova.
I like that EYES.
I just saw that on Facebook. I thought that was the most funniest thing. I think doing it in person, Jay, we got to do that in LA going jaywalking. We got to do that one.
That's a great one. That is a great one. I like that.
All right. Well, as always, everyone, we appreciate you for listening. Thank you to my amazing co-pilot, Jay. Catch us every Monday morning from 8 to 9 and every Wednesday from 8 to 9 at night on The Ruckus. Thank you for making us a part of your day. It's a wrap.